I've been doing some experimentation with the new theme for the eLearning, which is absolutely wonderful, and thought I'd pass on some of the tips that I've actually found for getting the best layout. I was basically curious as to how the background images appear. So what I did was I headed over to Canva and I first of all created a page background that was divided up into blocks so that I could actually see what was going on. And then I created a test site with a white background and used that page background. So as you can see, the image only takes up the top right-hand corner. And that has some implications when it comes to the module backgrounds, which we'll have a look at in a moment. But first of all, let's just have a quick look at the other pages. This can actually disappear if you've got a very busy background. And also this here is very difficult to read even if you don't have a background at all. So I'm hoping we might have some options to change the appearance of these at some point. But let's head back to the home page and look at a module. And again, I use the same background image for the module background. So as you can see, when you've got your lesson icons, they do overlap the background. So you need to be quite careful as to how busy your background image is to be able to read the lesson text here. Now, I'm using a fairly small laptop screen. It may look very different if you're using a big iMac screen, but of course you do need to bear in mind that some people could be looking at your course on a much smaller screen. So I think this is actually quite important. You may also notice that I have a little shaded box in the corner of my lesson icons. That was because initially, when I changed to a light theme and black text, the text colour of the time wasn't changing, so it was still white and wasn't showing up. But fortunately, that seems to be corrected now, so I can obviously take these shaded backgrounds off. So let's have a look at an actual example here. So this is a course here that I'm just sort of mapping out at the moment. Doesn't really have any real content in it yet. What I wanted to do was to use this image here as a background for each of the modules. So first of all, what I did in Canva was I thought the best thing to do was to use that image, make it as big as possible on the background page, and then drop that in. So that's what I did, and that's what that looks like. And as you can see, it overlooks the lesson icons, making it quite difficult to read this text and really just looks too busy. So I then thought, well, I'll make it a lot smaller and also reduce the transparency of it to 50%. So I dropped that in. Is that one? I can't remember which one it is now. Oh, yes, it's this one here. So that looked a lot better. It wasn't really interfering with these images anymore, but it still seemed a little bit bright. So my final thought was to use the image in full opacity and then use an overlay in the background color of your theme and then reduce the transparency of that so it just knocks the image back a little bit, which is this one here, which I think probably works the best. Now, just one other thing to mention is if you are playing around with different colors in the theme background, you do need to be a little bit careful about the text color you use, because as you can see here, this text isn't showing out at all well. So you'd probably change it to black or something like that. I'm hoping that with later iterations of this software that we might have more control over altering each of these different elements individually. But perhaps what I would suggest in the meantime is that you put your lesson title actually in the image box here so that it's much clearer, because this is actually quite small to read anyway. And as I mentioned, this text here is actually very difficult to read no matter what colour you're using. So anyway, I think it's absolutely wonderful, this new design. And I hope these tips have been helpful in you laying out your new course. Give me some feedback and I hope that's helped.
If you found this video helpful, please click on the like button, and I'd love it if you'd subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you want to be notified of future videos, just click on that bell icon. Thanks again for watching.